let's just double check. I guess it doesn't say. Well, we're gonna find out, but you know what?
I don't think I'll play you at strike.
He's not
I
too
don't
far
like to
away.
lose.
It's just oh wait, no, she's just gonna talk about the whatchamacallit person. Never mind. We'll figure it out. We see if we see Ragal over here, then we'll know.
Hey, Mr. Know-It-All is here. You know, your focus buddy who never smiles. I didn't know what to do with him, so I had him wait in your room.
Got it. Thanks. Well, Silence. Looks like you finally found a door you could open without me.
I'm glad it's there, actually. It kept me from having to mingle with the company you keep. But enough prattle. I believe you owe me an explanation. Your plans for the Zenith base?
You're right. I do owe you. My spear in your throat for deceiving me again. At the Hades Proving Lab.
I doubt you asked me here for that kind of reckoning.
No. Right now, I need your help. So I'm giving you one final chance. But if you ever betray me again, I will kill you no matter what the circumstance. Understood?
Very well. Though we'll both face a decidedly short future if you can't get us inside that base.
Aloy, your other guest is here. She's, coming to you.
Thanks. Good timing. The truth is, I can't actually get us into the base. But she can.
The company you keep is even worse than I thought.
Not a fan of surprises, are you? Oh, look. That must be your little invention.
Does the weapon work? Without self-destructing?
Of course it does. I've eliminated the imperfections and greatly improved its design and output.
How can we be sure?
Care for a demonstration?
Enough, both of you. We're in this together, at least for now. Go talk to Erend. Tell him I said to give you rooms of your own. I'll come see you when I get a chance.
Oh, no. You first.
Better get everyone in the control room so Tilda can tell us what she knows about the Zenith base.
I'm, gonna clean my gear later. I can do yours if you want.
Alright, where's Silence?
I cleaned it up.
Where's his room?
Yeah, of course.
Did you need something?
You know I'm talking to Silence.
Bravo. You managed to sway a Zenith to your side. Care to explain?
Not a chance. I thought you said the weapon was ready.
There's always room to optimize. But that's not why you're here. I assume you want to comprehend my undertakings. So, ask away.
Since when were you so forthcoming?
Since you turned this into a waiting game. And as it seems you have found modest success. Perhaps I'm willing to be generous.
Tell me about the weapon. How does it work?
I've upgraded the delivery system. It now emits a wave-like effect covering a significant distance.
That doesn't fully answer my question.
No, but I'd be a fool to reveal its inner workings. After all, why did you withhold your plan for dealing with the Zenith drones? Yes, even you can appreciate the value of secrecy when warranted. Suffice it to say that the weapon will work. The intricacies of how is knowledge that is mine alone.
While I was out there, I had a couple run-ins with the Quen.
The tribe from across the ocean. And?
Their entire tribe was shaped around the discovery of focuses. One of them, Alva, even joined me here. Don't you want to know more about them?
No. They stumbled upon the greatest technological artifact from the ancient world, and what did they do with it? They shrouded the knowledge they unearthed in mysticism and taboo, creating a pantheon out of corporate shills.
Yes, well, it also led them to Thebes.
Did it now?
So those run-ins with the Quen I mentioned. On one of them I teamed up with their expedition to search Thebes. We found Pharaoh at the end.
You must have needed Omega clearance. So, what was it like?
Worse than you can imagine.
He single-handedly wiped out collective human knowledge. I'm sure it was still less than he deserved.
Let me guess. You would have scraped him into a jar so you could prod his brain, like what you did with Hades.
For a start.
I like Silence. I like Silence so much.
Okay, so your big plan, everything you've been manipulating for the last few months. Let me see if I got this straight. You learned about the Zeniths from Hades when you interrogated it. Then you came up with a plan to defeat them by using a Tenakth army and that weapon. And to get the Tenakth to fight for you, or rather the Sons of Prometheus, armed Regalla's rebels with override tech.
Did you have an actual question, or are you still playing catch-up?
So all this time, even before I found the coordinates at the Spire, you were out here scheming. Why couldn't you just tell me?
When I learned of the Zenith's return to Earth, I laid out my plans. I knew I would one day require an army of overzealous Tenakth to assault the Zenith base. The casualties would be extreme. And I knew you would never allow such a sacrifice, no matter how necessary. Thus, I devised a means to remove your interference from the equation. At the Hades Proving Lab.
Oh, that opened up a bunch of stuff.
You wanted me to surrender to the Zeniths at the Hades Proving Lab. They almost killed me.
Based on everything I knew about them, I concluded they would find you a useful asset, thereby keeping you out of harm's way and, more importantly, out of my way.
So you really didn't know they had their own clone of Elizabeth?
No. Unfortunately, there was no way I could have known that particular detail.
Detail? Well, I guess if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here today. Why create the Sons of Prometheus? You didn't need a bunch of Oseram tinkerers to make override tech.
They were a necessary safeguard. My time serving Hades in the Eclipse demonstrated the risks of getting directly involved. Through the Sons of Prometheus, I could execute my plans, all while remaining anonymous.
My feet are cold.
Why help Regalla take over? If you wanted an army, you could have just gone to Hekarro.
Before Regalla's rebellion, Hekarro was only concerned with battling machines and fostering friendships with the Carja. Even if I gained his ear, he would never agree to send his forces to battle a threat he couldn't understand.
So helping a bloodthirsty exile was easier.
Yes. Exceedingly so. All Regalla craved was war against the Carja and anyone who threatens the Tenakth. She would have led the tribe into battle without question, which was precisely what I needed.
Wish we got a little bit more, but, you know, it's fine.
All right, Silence. I think I've talked to you long enough. I'll let you know when it's time to go. And try not to mess with Tilda while you're in here, okay? I don't need the two of you butting heads.
Ah, yes. About your Zenith ally. I wonder if you understand what kind of person you're dealing with. For someone to live as long as she has, outlast as many calamities, well, your goals may be aligned now, but I'd watch for the moment they diverge.
Yeah, I'm aware. Reminds me of someone else I know.
Survival is only a necessity to my greater purpose, Aloy. I'd hoped you'd recognize that by now.
Do you know something or not?
Oh, I know a great deal of things. But on this, just call it a feeling.
Oh, a feeling? You mean you finally had one? Huh. Guess even you can change, Silence.
Get body. We picked up a new weapon. Let's see, this is a sharp shot bow. It does a lot. And I mean a lot of damage. It's not so great at tear damage, what I currently have. I kind of want to use this, but we don't really got space for it. Oh, it does more damage because it has better arrows. It has the improved, upgraded arrows. Some funky face and arm paint. You disrespecting Silence? That's not paint. Those are wires, I think.
That fabrication terminal has been very useful.
I was thinking we could spar further. When you have the time.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course.
There might be a way to deal with him. Anger.
Yeah, beating the crap out of me makes you feel better.
It's all going to be okay.
Where
Can't give up
is
now.
Tilda hiding?
There's Gwen stuff in here now. Must be all of us.
Hey, know the otter? Need Funky Kong to raid him? I don't know about all that now.
I see you've got your new arm ready to go.
Yes. It still feels strange. I've gotten used to the absence, but no matter. I'm sure I will need it before the attack on the Zenith base is through. Strange.
You didn't use it during that battle, which seemed like the time and the place.
There you are. Well done, Aloy. Despite my reservations, you managed to secure Silence and his weapon. You're truly a shining example of Liz's fortitude.
I've been thinking about what you said at your house. How you were friends with Elizabeth. It was more than that, wasn't it?
Perceptive as ever. You're right, we were together for a time.
Okay, so... what happened?
I was an orphan. I had always been alone. By my 30s, I was starting to wonder if that was simply my fate in life. And then I met Liz. We kept running into each other at conferences. We'd have coffee. At some point, it became drinks. I thought it was just shop talk, an exchange of ideas, but then I was surprised at how much I looked forward to seeing her. Soon we were flying halfway across the world every other week just to meet up. For the first time, I didn't feel lonely. I could imagine a future where I wasn't. I think Liz felt the same way at first. She had lost her mother a few years back. I filled a void for her. I know I did. But as time passed, it seemed as though she wanted less when I wanted more. And so we ended things.
So helping me, restoring Elizabeth's dream, it's what,
a second chance, yes. I made a mistake leaving Earth while Liz stayed behind. I should have done more. So when I saw you, a woman who has carved her own remarkable path, beyond even what made Liz a phenomenon, I knew I had to help you. To do right by her.
How did Aloy pick up on that? Did anyone else pick up on that? I didn't pick up on that. The rest of them.
When Beta escaped and hid in an ancient research facility, I saw another one of the Zeniths, Verbena. Who was she?
A dull star amidst a sea of brighter constellations. Unlike most of Far Zenith's members who amassed their wealth through shrewd business deals and technological achievements, Verbena inherited her billions. Her father had achieved great success in the luxury holotourism industry. At age 24, she became the world's most eligible bachelorette, branding herself a life designer. Someone who leverages their fame to influence the choice of others.
What, like a cult?
In a way, yes.
Well, she must have done something right to have survived this long.
She was her own brand of ruthless. That much is true. But even rats can cling to a vessel for escape.
When I was in the ruins of Vegas, I found data on a man named Stanley Chen. I think he was a Zenith.
Stanley, ever the optimist. He was one of the good ones. When we established our colony, he built an exact replica of Las Vegas in virtual reality. Lights, shows, gambling, every detail perfectly recreated. And while others cloistered themselves in their own fantasies, he flung his doors wide to everyone.
The way you're talking about him, I'm guessing he didn't make it back to Earth?
No, he perished when our colony was destroyed. He would have been thrilled to discover that part of his beloved city survived.
What can you tell me about Gerard?
He was the head of the world's largest financial conglomerate, and as such had dealings with almost every major corporation. It made him one of the wealthiest people on Earth, and certainly the wealthiest among Far Zenith.
What does one person do with that much money?
Buy more power, more influence. Gerard's always believed himself to be a refined patrician, able to maintain control with a polished smile. But beneath that exterior is a cold and calculating operator. It was his decision to restrict Beta's upbringing to her digital educators, the avatars of the Apollo database, while we were painted as her benefactors.
Well, we'll deal with him soon enough. And the others.
I would very much like to see his face when he realizes we've beaten him.
You know, some people say that money can't buy happiness. I think they're totally and completely wrong. Especially because the vast majority of the people that I see saying stuff like that are people that don't have money. It's like, or they don't have money, and they don't have the wealth that would make them happy, or they have not struggled enough to recognize the value that money could provide in happiness. Let me tell you, if I had limitless wealth, I would be like 5 degrees more happy. Maybe even like 10. You know, it would be nice to have gigabit internet just because.
So, Eric, was he always a bloodthirsty psychopath?
I believe he got worse over time. On Earth, he was the founder of a profitable private military company. A band of cutthroats, in other words. Even as governments abandoned human combatants in favor of automated warfare. He found success with clientele that required a more personal touch. There were also rumors that he personally hunted and killed his targets. On occasion, all for the thrill of it. But on Sirius, he retreated to virtual reality simulations. In them, he could go on rampages as violent as he pleased, though I suspect with diminishing satisfaction.
All of his tribe believes he was one of the greatest people from the old world.
Then they would be quite disappointed to meet him, though I'm sure he'd bask in the adoration.
Okay, so I've had run-ins with a handful of Zeniths. What about the rest?
An array of the wealthiest people on Earth, titans of their industries.
And let me guess, all selfish and ruthless to the core?
Most, but not all. There were a few with whom I got along. Annika Murjani, for instance, was always delightful. She founded the Holonet's most successful dance channel and was herself mesmerizing to watch. And I had fascinating discussions with Song Jiao about her work in cellular biology. Our immortality treatments are due in part to her achievements. But then there were others like Devin Miller, the CEO of a fast food printing corporation. His only real preoccupations were perfecting his golf swing and taking self-hollows. When I think about all of us, we really should have accomplished more. We had eternity.
When it's time to break into the Zenith base, what can we expect?
I'll go over the full layout once you've assembled your friends. Suffice it to say, we will need to push as fast as possible to Beta and Gaia's location, dealing with heavy resistance along the way. There are also printing facilities where the others have been amassing the natural resources they've stripped from the region.
What for?
First for use in the base's infrastructure, and then to fabricate more Spectre drones, a small army of them. In addition, they've also been ferrying materials to and from our ship in orbit. After hundreds of years luxuriating in our digital comforts, the ship was barely space-worthy when we made our escape. Disaster can strike at any moment. We've learned our lesson.
Have you figured out how Silence's weapon works?
No, and he's been very careful not to allow me near it. I'll admit it bothers me, but regardless of how it functions, I am confident it will deactivate the other shields en masse.
How many of them are in the base?
10, including Eric and Gerard. Only a handful of us made it to our ship when our colony collapsed.
You said before that you're not like the other Zeniths. That you never were. But you went along with all of their plans.
Out of necessity. I'm not proud of it. But complicity became a means of survival, both when Earth was consumed and when the colony on Sirius was destroyed. I did what I had to. But I resolved to remain one step ahead of the others, to try to undo what damage I could. Hence the data channel with Beta. The secret passage into their base and the little trick I pulled to save you.
Okay. I'll let you know when it's time.
I'll be here until then. And thank you, Aloy, for giving me this chance. My past has always been a struggle. More than once I've lost everything. But when I look to the future, I see Liz's dream fulfilled. A universe of new possibilities.
Maybe we can make it happen.
We will. I won't let anything get in the way. I promise you
that. Just want to throw it out there that I don't care about Tilda's house, and I don't care about anybody's relationship in this game. You know, I stayed far away from Zoe and Varl and anything regarding their relationship. I don't care about Tilda and Elizabeth's relationship either. But you heard someone say that people who don't address the causes of their happiness or causes of their unhappiness at their roots and try to avoid it with some addiction, including attachment to, approval to people, when they get money, they just burn all their money on their addiction and still won't be happy. You do get my point, though, about having material wealth can provide comforts and make your life easier. I feel like having an addiction is probably swinging towards an extreme. But I would probably not disagree with that. I think the easiest retort that one could make is, one, can you live your life with little to no money and be happy? And two, what was the other thing I was going to say? Well, I forgot the second thing I was going to say, but we'll just stick with the first one. I feel like, for me, if I didn't have any money to spend on video games or going to Taco Tuesday or any of that stuff, I would certainly be significantly less happy than I am now. So it makes the correct correlation there that money is literally buying me happiness because I'm able to consume things that bring me happiness, like tacos, like video games. And, you know, there is a diminishing returns on it. You know, if I had $1 billion and I go up to $2 billion, I'm probably not getting more happiness in comparison to if I went from making $40,000 a year to $120,000 a year, you know? But at the very least, money provides security. And if you don't have security, you are not very happy. And I think we live in a world where we live in a world where it's easy to say that money isn't important, and you know, it doesn't offer as much as people think it does. When you have money to spend on all the luxuries that you want and still feel comfortable. As soon as you're in a situation where money is tight every single time you're spending, or you don't have money to spend on on things that you want and you have to cut back on things that you need, those are the scenarios where one should consider. I think it's about a balance. Like you said, not burning all the money on addiction. Well, I don't disagree. I do feel like addiction is on the going towards the extreme spectrum. You heard of Tank that things aren't recognized generally as addictions are also addictions. People constantly try to flock to each other to impress each other and seek each other's approval aren't generally recognized as being addicted. I would agree with that. I think there are a lot of things that are addictions that people don't know are addictions. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure I'm addicted to the internet. I don't want to live without the internet. You know, if I had no internet for the next like 4 months, I'd probably go into withdrawal. You know, it'd be insane. But there's also varying degrees of, is this addiction harmful? And I feel like if you're addicted to drugs, that's pretty harmful. If you're addicted to just being on the internet and looking at news stories and checking out Reddit every once in a while and streaming 5 days a week for 2 to 4 hours and, you know, making YouTube videos and things like that. I feel like that addiction is pretty low key, you know, going out to eat tacos every Tuesday. You know, and I don't feel like my addictions are all too bad, but you know, as an addict, I guess I wouldn't be one to speak on that. Buddhists differentiate between this kind of instant gratification happiness through materialism and just constant inherent happiness. I believe that there is a lot of truth to how the Buddhists kind of like teach their ways. But it's also important to see where a Buddhist starts and where they are now. Like, sure, you can give up your wealth and then live a totally, completely different life and be happy with that. Not impossible. But at least from the lens that I've seen, which is, again, a very small corner of the world, I see a lot of Buddhists come from nothing, embrace that they have nothing, and then create happiness from what they have, rather than like, I still feel like if a Buddhist were to have more money than they have, they could acquire more happiness, you know? But at the same time, it's like they're probably content to be where they're at because that's the way that they follow and they're happy to follow that. Buddha was a wealthy prince before he chose to become poor. Yeah, I figure if you're following Buddhist teachings, that would be something that one would do.
He is quite loud.
You know, we've never played machine.
And you know, there's always exceptions. You know, it's never 100% in either way. But I I guess I'm just sitting in that situation of it's very, very easy to say, you know, like, oh, I can do this, or oh, I can do that. Without having, like, actually experiencing, you know, those struggles and things like that. Ooh, below 50%? That's pretty nice. Keanu Reeves seems to be spending his money on charities and living humbly himself.
Okay.
That's one way to do
Maybe
it.
it's time to get everyone together so Tilda can brief us. But is there anything I should handle before that?
I'm not much of a charity person myself. So one of those scenarios where it's like, I can spend money that I don't have so that someone else can be happy? Like, why would I do this? Those people ain't do nothing for me.
All right, people. I need you up in the control room right away. Okay, everyone. We all know what's at stake. Beta, Gaia. Not to mention life on Earth. Now, it might seem like the Zeniths are invincible, but they're not. We've got what it takes to break into their base and defeat them. We even have one of them on our side. Tilda, show us the base.
It is constructed atop the ruins of an ancient military facility on an island to the southwest. I can get us inside. To this location. Undetected.
How exactly?
You'll know when you need to. Once inside, our goal will be this structure. The launch tower. Gaia and Beta are being held at the top. But along the way, we will face overwhelming resistance. Most importantly from Gerard, Eric, and the others. But also...
Once I take away their shields, we should be able to deal with them. But it will be easier to deploy the device if someone else is carrying it. I'll need a strong back.
Carry stuff? Yeah, I can do that.
Even if your device works, there will still be Spectre drones, scores of them.
If only we had an army to fight them.
I've got that under control. You'll know when you need to. All right. We'll meet up again just before we go in. Where's the best place to rendezvous?
On the coast, just across from the island. Once there, I'll show you the way.
Okay. I'll let you know when I arrive at the rendezvous point. And then you can join me. In the meantime, do whatever you need to prepare. Understood? You two? A minute? Tilda helped me get in touch with Beta, and she told me something important. There's an installation inside the base. It's called a regulator. Here. Once we're inside, I need you two to split off from everyone else and destroy it. So you'll have to bring explosives. This will help stop the drones. Everything depends on it. Are you with me? After that, I want you to find a way to infiltrate the Zenith network.
How?
go over all the data that Beta left behind. She knew how to do it, I'm sure of that.
All right. But why? What am I trying to do?
Find information about the Zeniths. Anything Tilda's not telling us. Silence is right about one thing. There's no way we can take her on her word.
I'll do my best.
Keep her safe, okay?
On my life.
You know, Tilda's patched into your focus, right? Told you that. In a way, Keanu Reeves is choosing to be poor, except he's rich in his deeds. I don't agree with that. If you're wealthy enough to give away some of your wealth, you're not giving away a portion of your wealth that would in turn make you poor, because then you just become poor. You know, he's giving away enough to where he can still live comfortably and engage in whatever activities and whatchamacallits that he would like to do. I want to see if Silence has new things to say.
So, you return. Something else?
I'll be going.
As you wish.
I'm not too interested in talking to the companions, but I will talk to Erend. I think he's a G and
Remember,
stuff
we
like
need
that.
to get Silence weapon to the Zenith.
Aloy, aren't we meeting at the beach near the Zenith base?
We are. I just wanted to check in on everyone first. We're finally doing this.
Never thought I'd be off on a mission to take down a bunch of immortals from the stars. I can hear the drinking songs already.
You, talked to Tilda at all?
I tried. I don't think even a hot forge could melt that ice. And you say she wants to help?
I think so. Well, let's hope. Varl made the right call. You know, bringing you here.
Thanks. Yeah, Varl. You know, I never knew he had a sister. I found out a few days before you guys went to Gemini. I was, well, to be honest, I was terrified I'd screw up the mission somehow. So he sat me down for a drink. Just one, mind you. And we talked about family. Vala, Ursa, loss and revenge. And how you helped us.
You know, we never did get that drink you promised back in the Embrace. And you never told me exactly how your sister escaped the Mad Sun King.
I guess we never got round to it. World ending and all. No time like the present, though. If you're up for it.
I guess Silence is keeping to himself, as usual.
I was hoping he'd give me an excuse to hammer his sorry ass to the ground.
Please don't.
You telling me you wouldn't want to get just one good hit on that smug face of his? After everything he's done?
Sure. Later. Right now, he's got something we need. I guess I should get going.
I'll see you at the rendezvous point. With my hammer ready.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
So, should we have a drink option there? Not going to take it, but, you know, interesting. Ken, thank you very much for the 33 months. Appreciate it. Finding people from the stars? Are there a Lamals now? What kind of story did you miss? You kind of missed a lot. But also not very much. Turns out there's some people that went on an expedition to go to another planet. And they went to that planet, and then they came back. And now that they're back, they're like, hey, we're taking over Earth for ourselves. And we're like, we don't really like that. We trying to stop them. All right. It would probably be faster if I fast traveled here and then flew over all this stuff. Yeah, that's why you put poor in quotation marks. I figured. I just felt it was important to point out, you know. Alrighty, we want to go like in this direction. But there's not many rich people or even averagely wealthy people who choose to give their money for something other than themselves. I would say that's true. I would also say it's important to keep in mind that not everybody that chooses to give away money for something also announces to the world that they're giving away money.
Figure something else out.
And so there's probably more people than we think, but you know, I understand what you're saying. You think you could argue that that could be an addiction too, giving to charity and spending all money on that to pursue a good feeling. I can see it. And at this point, anything could be an addiction, right? Oh, I thought I was already at the cauldron. I was like, I don't see no cauldron. This is so cool, by the way. I can't believe they let you fly in this game. This is just so unbelievably cool. Punch him when we save the world. Yeah, there you go. Level 5. Can I trigger this fire? I can. Nice.
Flying through rain. Could be worse, I guess. Kind of just, you know, spending a little time doing a little bit of exploring.
Mostly doing this. Get some stuff out of the way. But at the top of the hour, we're gonna go on this mission. It seems like it's the final mission. Or final-ish mission.
I'm gonna dismount, stretch my legs.
Nope. I don't like just flying.
Aloy, it's Alva. Before I left landfall, I overheard a couple of navigators talking about a problem with one of our ships. I don't know what's wrong, but it could be an issue when it's time for us to sail home.
That doesn't sound good. We'll keep an eye out for them the next time I'm in landfall.
I have no interest in any of the Quen people. Sorry, Alva, but not sorry. Wow, racist. I guess you could interpret it that way. A twisted kind of sense. Look at this bird. Can't shoot the bird.
I shouldn't use frost on it.
You're not gonna shoot me from down there, are you? It kind of blows my mind that they managed to, like, in the first game, there were some scary machines for sure. You know, the rock breakers, absolutely terrifying. Thunder jaws, super terrifying. And somehow they managed to make machines in this game even more terrifying than the ones in the first. And that's pretty crazy. Like spine breakers. I haven't even fought a frost claw yet. Maybe I should go fight one of those. Any of those nearby? Doesn't look like any of them are nearby. There's one over here. Or there's a fire claw. Frost claws would be over here. Kind of want to fight one of those. To see how they fight. So we'll fight a fire claw.
Time to get off.
Make our way in this direction. Tofu dogs. Not barking.
Okay. Let's see if I can figure out how those Tanox died. Gotta find the right cauldron to learn how to override that machine.
I don't see what I'm looking for. How old are these guys? 15.
Okay. Let's see if I can figure out how those Tanox died.
Oh. I found you.
A fire claw.
Oh. I wasn't expecting this machine to be, well, looking like that. And I'm dead. Alright, well, I fought a fire claw. Let's mark and go to the rendezvous point.